After receiving my chocobo, I went on with the main story quest in Gridania, followed by the East Shroud. Here I was also talking to my friend about how to unlock the specific abilities and traits I was missing, since we didn't know exactly how to at the time. Something a lot of you told us in the comments, of course, so a big thanks for that. I realized that if I just do a main story quest, we might be able to level together, since we chose the same grand company. My friend was going to wait for me with his main story quest, since he also did it a bit while I was doing mine. His main story quest was around level 34, where he also reached level 41 at that point. Mine was around level 21, so I had plenty of story quests to get through. In the East Shroud I met some fairy-like creatures. I had to dance with a few of them to befriend them. This is something we love about Final Fantasy. You must interact in a special way during a quest and not just talk to them. The fairies wanted some mushrooms, so we gave them some brownie mushrooms? I was running around to investigate suspicious presences. In the meantime I was also listening to the Chocobo theme because I was mounted. It reminded me of something I've heard 14 years ago. After investigating for days, they told me this was all because of a friend who was missing. Couldn't you tell me this earlier? I could have looked for Clexio immediately if I knew. At least they promoted me to their BFF by finding the lost friend. I got some more blue quests in the meantime so we could do them later. I could have done some of them instantly if I just read for 2 seconds. But you know I don't like to read, so we will probably do them in 5 years. Now, what I did read was the part where we need to deliver some fresh chicken eggs to Kyoryo-rune? Who doesn't love some chicken eggs though? You might be wondering, when are we going to do the tactical planning quest, which has been sitting there for 6 years? Well, yeah, not now. Delivering this earring is much more important to save the world. I did get a party hat from them though. Apparently, I was also missing some mobs in here from my hunting log. Only to figure out that the News from Grand Company also has a hunting log tab. Free Stormsteel, here I come! It took me some time to find 3 Cool Earl pups. Well, the Cool Earl pups doesn't seem to mate that often. We have to investigate again? Is everything suspicious here to everyone? I thought I was cautious towards strangers, but this is on a whole new level. The nice people we are, we investigated it anyway to please our old friend. In the end, he was right to be suspicious. I got jumped on 5 times by thieves or something while investigating. Now we had to speak with Laurentius, and again, only to find out that he was friends with the Imperial people. Carbuncle will take care of them. I'm starting to feel like a Pokemon trainer. Go Carbuncle! It was time to enter the 1000 Miles of Toto Wreck. Now we know for certain that my friend was at least beyond this quest when we started playing again. The dungeon itself was pretty fun. It looked nice and had some pudding monsters who were very angry. At the end of the dungeon we found a strange wizard again. He called himself La Brea. He cursed some might, which became very angry and attacked me because of it. We were prepared and the might, well now Scorpion, was no match for my party. Something fell out of the air. If this was Dungeons and Dragons, I would instantly use Fireball against it. But I think it's for the best that this is not in fact Dungeons and Dragons, because a fairy was stuck in the cocoon. We heard the story of the fairies, on why some have a hard time trusting creatures who don't float. I traveled back to the fairies in the East Shroud. They do trust us since we helped and saved them. The fairy gave me a purple crystal, now having 3 in my possession. I turned into a crystal collector and wanted more. It's time to get back to Vesper Bay, because they're missing us it seems. One of the fairies rushed in after following us here. They are officially called Silps apparently. The Silp came here to help us. I'm not sure with what exactly, but it's nice to have the option available. For the main quest we ran around Tenalan for some time. At this point I was level 38 already. It goes very quickly if you don't pay attention to that part. In southern Tenalan, we had to deliver some cups of tea to the lookouts. I hope they are happy we came by, otherwise they would have never gotten their tea. I noticed I could complete a quest here as well, near the sunken temple of Karn. Apparently, one of the blue quests I had unlocked this dungeon. Now we know for certain why they were so important. I haven't done the dungeon for now, since the plan is to do the main story quest. My friend, who was also just unlocking dungeons and did some of his class and job quest, had to do the dungeon Halatali for his hunting log. And so did I apparently. I had the quest with me apparently and unlocked the dungeon also, so I could join him with the dungeon. At least something we can do together while trying to reach the same point in the main story quest. Ah, the party was ready. It was time to venture into Halatali. Is this some kind of prison? It surely felt like it. The tank also started chain pulling quite a bit of mobs in this dungeon. Luckily, we got the mobs we needed for a hunting log in here before the end. The dungeon itself was fantastic. The place looked gorgeous and I casually joined the last boss fight halfway because I couldn't decide if the loot we got before was better for me or not. There was still a lot to do around Tenalan for me for main story quest, which is around level 27 here. We are starting to catch up quite a bit after a long time. We talked to Wheelrat near a bridge, where we got ambushed by Amalja? I wasn't paying attention, so I managed to fail this battle and had to redo it. That day I learned that it was, in fact, possible to fail these kinds of battles. I noticed that after I failed them, I had the option to select the difficulty. Easy and very easy became an option now. It's good to have these kinds of options in the game if people have trouble doing these battles. After I reported everything to Minfilia, it was finally time. We are going to do the quest Tactical Planning. Since we are level 40, we got skilled back to like level 14. I am proud to be skilled down this far. Now that I have finally completed this specific class quest, I have the option to unlock multiple classes. This is something to keep in mind for later. For the next quest I had to step on a small boat, and in the cutscene they showed us this enormous ship. Let's be real, this ship looks amazing. We, as of course brave adventurers, stormed onto the ship and fought the crew. It looked like we had won, but the captain was still alive and threw away a grimoire. What a meanie! We withdrew and got back to the harbor. Of course, all the quest rewards were not an upgrade if we speak of gear specifically. Our plan now is to retrieve the grimoire, so our friend can be an arcanist again. We found it quite quickly and made her happy again. For the next unlock, Ruin 2, we had to get to Costa del Sol first to deliver something. We delivered what they required us to and did some more deliverance around this area. I thought I was an arcanist, not a delivery man. I had to board the ship, called Morningstar. The dancers had to come along and one of them looked quite familiar. We fought again against the Morningstar crew. What a surprise! We won against Dos Maga. Our book was too strong for this pirate. He just jumped off the ship after we won. But we had loads of small boats around to arrest him. It was time to learn Ruin 2. Well, and of course a nice blio. Here I got the option to be a summoner or a scholar. For now I went with the summoner, just because I could learn Summon Ifrit. And who doesn't want to summon the demon they destroyed ages ago because it thought it was stronger than us? We went to the desert for this class quest. The fight had some similarities with the original Ifrit fight, but this felt a lot more forgiving. Or I just happened to make the right choices. We were done with our class quest for now. After obtaining Summon Ifrit, we had no option to go on, because the main story quest had to be progressed to unlock the next ability, Summon Titan, whoever that may be. I also got a free company invitation, which I would assume is some sort of clan or guild. at least from the looks of it. I didn't go with it, we might join one later if you feel like it. I quickly went on with the main story quest in the North Shroud. Who would have thought? Another investigation! We might start our own detective company if we go on like this. I also managed to get stuck here. It took me a minute or two to get out. Now it was time to enter the Haukke manor. These are the best kind of dungeons and raids. It's hard to go bad with those instances. Just the looks make this place my favorite thus far. I wonder if there is another place like this later on in the game. After the tiny puzzles in the haunted manor, we had to face Lady Amandine, which we defeated without much hassle. Before we left, friends of the Dark Wizard came along for a small talk. We didn't think much of it and reported back to Gridania. They also wanted us to report to Minfilia, so we did. She was also confused about La Habrea's minions, which I can totally understand. At this point I'm level 41 and my friend level 44. This also makes it a good time to wrap things up for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like if you did and comment down below what your favorite dungeon is from A Realm Reborn. Even though we did not do all of them, we plan to do many, if not all of them, to see what they're all like. Don't forget to subscribe for more of my content and of course I hope I see you all in the next one. Bye bye!